to play, running some 15 minutes behind time. Some technical issues there, but I'm pretty sure you got the picture with the artwork that we've been playing for you. And I know many of you were anxious to hear what we're going to say on the matter, especially when you watch the Chief Justice standing over I don't want to say the body of the speaker. Standing over the speaker, who is swimming on the floor after the point had dazed him. That, in essence, is what happened. But apologies for the late start of the show today. But we're here. That's what matters the most. But sincere apologies for that. Now, the reason why that image is telling is because of what happened in the Supreme Court yesterday. It was not just a reading of a ruling. It was very clear to me when you listen to the tone and the posture of the Chief Justice.
It's like a press conference.
She wanted to send a message. She wanted to leave no doubt who's boss.
Yes.
She wanted to leave absolutely no doubt who is boss. And she said so in many words. Nobody's above the Supreme Court.
Yes. Even the president. Even the vice president.
Yes.
Then she will go down. It is high crime. Reminding you.
Nobody's. And then she makes the point. Even questioning why Parliament is not sitting.
Yes. The Constitution. I don't understand why Parliament is not sitting. Hey, by Parliament is sitting, how is that your business? Then a lawyer, I think it was Tadio Sorry, said, but please, this suit is not about Parliament sitting.
But it was absolutely clear the Chief Justice wanted to send that message.
She was livid.
And she had one target in mind, no doubt. That target, unmistakably, was the Speaker of Parliament. And she said, so, towards the end of her ruling, she commented on the Speaker's pronouncement about that administrative directives around serving him in Parliament.
Comprehensive ruling. Everything that has happened so far, I have to give you a response to it.
The Speaker's understanding of the ruling in relation to the Constitution is unfortunate.
The words. But in fairness, the Supreme Court sometimes chooses very, bombastic words. Sometimes to make the point. Sometimes it's quite flowery. This is not. I mean, there are words that can send shivers down your spine, but I think this was special. Even the body language communicated something more like, I have to tell you what is on my mind, but with legal terms, with references to the law, with an appreciable understanding of what is supposed to be happening. It's almost as if you are telling of somebody who's misbehaving before your own eyes or attempting to challenge your authority on this matter. Do I find that to be the right posturing? I don't know. I do not feel that was a conciliatory position.
Why must she be conciliatory?
See,
the matter of the law is a matter of the law. It's open and shut.
I'm not disputing that.
Why must she be conciliatory?
I'm saying that she admits we are in some unique position.
What was the uniqueness?
She said there's constitutional crisis.
That is why she had to do what she did.
They did not solve any crisis.
Because it's a constitutional crisis. That's why you have to put all the other people, number 3, number 2, number 1, everybody else in check.
Really. And the thing that is checked today.
She acted like a screwhead mistress.
Calling everybody to order.
Standing in front of the assembly.
And
ordering people around. Why are you not?
Why is Parliament not sitting?
A constitutional crisis.
No, I don't think that it solved the problem. You see, I'm looking forward to, and around the same time, I think it was the day before, around the same time, the Council of State was trying to also speak to Speaker Small. I'm not sure. Speaker Bagbin, he has a way of, I've heard you. Then when he goes to sit there and he dresses one of those, traditional attire, and he's in his element, he may deliver a response. And again, I was particularly impressed that the Speaker chose to go back to the Supreme Court. Some people suspected that he may even ignore their earlier directive and not do anything about it. So seeking to set that aside means I'm using the court to try and correct what I can consider to be problematic, an anomaly of a sort. He didn't succeed. If for nothing at all, he received punches, strong punches in that direction. I think we should all step back a little bit. I think if it's going to be the judiciary versus parliament, this will not go anywhere. Because what's the worst that can happen? You arrest the speaker for engaging in high crime. You look at the spectacle you are creating with barely 30 or 40 days to election.
Nobody's above the law.
No, nobody is saying that. But wisdom must prevail.
Yeah, where's the wisdom?
The
wisdom is that you have to respect the Supreme Court.
Again, I insist, wisdom is letting what the Council of State has started be completed.
Which is
at least
engagement.
When he started that. And this is my first time the judiciary was willing to engage what they call it, special prosecutor. Judiciary, the Chief Justice was willing to engage special prosecutor. How much more the head of another institution? And you see, yes, we know it is the job of Parliament to make the laws. It is the job of the judiciary to interpret the laws, without doubt. But if there is no, those concepts, they go hand in hand. Beyond the Montesquieu's separation of powers, it goes hand in hand with checks and balances all over the world. Institutions are careful, especially when you have crafted that relationship for years. Ours, it has been wobbly. This Fourth Republic, it's not even before decades. So I think that there should be more tact in defining the most important moments. If it becomes power play.
I see why you make that.
Yeah, but I'm saying if it becomes power play, Evans, the people who are winners in this case will be few.
But it's a very dangerous.
Because this thing is less likely to be repeated. First and foremost,
what thing?
This is happening because the Speaker of Parliament is, if we were to Michael Quaid, who was Speaker of Parliament today, this will not be happening. We all know that, right? We know that won't be happening. Because he would have been towing the direction of the executive, which would have been easier for them to cooperate with Parliament, and all of these conversations wouldn't come up in the first place.
Well, how do you?
Secondly, I think that what is the original issue, and first and foremost, I think that those in the play, Parliament, members of Parliament, and I like referencing this document because I think that should be our biggest concern as a people. I think we are basically not getting the point when these points are being made. But Evans, let me bring to your attention the very, latest Afrobarometer report on trust in institutions. Members of Parliament is also at its all-time low, 24%. It has gotten to 58% before, that's 2017. Then it's as low as 24%. Now, I want to take opposition party is also at its all-time low. Let's not get it wrong. 28%. Ruling party, 22%. It was some time ago, 61%. That's 2017. Now, I want to bring in other ones like the president, 28%. Police, 28%. The courts, all-time low, even between 2012 and 2022 and 2024. The final set, Electoral Commission, all-time low.
Hold on a bit because you have to try and fix your microphone. The thing about what you have said is a fact from the Afrobarometer report.
We are giving people more room.
But that should not stop the Supreme Court from following its constitutional mandate and adhering to it strictly.
Certainly will not stop Parliament too.
Yes.
Most of those countries that is so much serious grounds that everything has
the reason why you're making that pitch.
Yes.
It is precisely because of events and actions like the impaneling of a man who used to be a parliamentary candidate. Even if he was cleared by Parliament, and I hear the Chief Justice's position on the matter, the ruling was clear that once the people's representatives have vetted the man, knowing the background, clears him, confirms him, approves him as a Supreme Court judge, he is clothed with all authority to sit on all cases, right? That was, in essence, the summary of the ruling that was made on the matter, dismissing Thaddeus Oris's objections. But that, for me, was a wrong position to take. Because you have to place it within the context of the matter that was being considered by the court yesterday. And if you consider this matter, the way it's so highly politically charged, the fact that we are less than 40 days on election, just over 30 days on election, major elections, keenly contested, high stakes, the Supreme Court should have been sensitive, the Chief Justice, in making that decision. In fact, that man himself, the justice of the court, should have come nowhere near this particular case. And when he was on panel, he should have respectfully declined the matter. But to put him there, it is a reason why you proceed to make the recommendations you're making. Okay. Because you see, if this man wasn't part of this, first of all, you are coming into a case that already people have your suspicions about you.
Yeah.
Already you have an Afro-Parliamentary report that people don't trust you. Mm-hmm. You're among the worst trusted institutions in this country. Mm-hmm. The institutions that over the lifespan of the Afro-Barometer since 2012 to date, over what? A 16-year period?
Yes.
Over a 16-year period? You have lost the most trust year on year. One Afro-Barometer to the next. Most trust. If you look at the trend line there, compared to one of the institutions that have lost the most trust. You have to necessarily be sensitive to the time and to the issue at hand and not put him there. That is only the time that you begin now. The NDC will be justified in their rage against what has happened, even if, and I've had lawyers who have argued that on the looking strictly at the law, the Chief Justice and the court were right, strictly. But justice must not only be done, it must be seen to be done. And yesterday, on the first part, maybe they checked the box. But was it done? The perception of what happened yesterday was wrong.
But that's what they are saying around. Now you see this guy, you see the MPP guy who was on the panel. No, I'm not saying, yes, the MPP guy was on the panel.
Yeah.
How do you expect such, but you see, in all fairness, we didn't hear any judge that actually dissented. You get the point? So even if the NPP judge was not on the panel, we would have still perhaps had the same thing. So my point
is, take him away.
I agree with you
perfectly. From the controversy.
Judges have recused themselves on matters. Yeah. They do all the time. There's nothing wrong with
even when you know the basis of the conflict that they may have had.
Yes, sometimes they do on their own. There's nothing wrong with he decided. In any case, the Supreme Court has a lot of cases they are dealing with, and they have other judges too. So if Justice Jau was replaced, say with Professor Harriet Abensabosu, or with Justice Tanko, or with any other person that people who has not contested on an MPP ticket before, what would have changed? This is not the only matter they have to deal with at the Supreme Court. In any case, this panel, it was hurriedly put together. So it was not as if it is one of the situations where it is so cast in stone that nothing can be done about it. If they removed the man or asked him to recuse himself, and he did so, and they still went ahead to give the judgment, people would have been limited in their accusations, in their disbelief, in their issues they can raise against the court on this matter. And I agree with you that that was a low end. That notwithstanding, I am still of the opinion that they are an endangered species. The people who operate in our political space today, legitimacy ought to be renewed. It's not only the executive leadership that ought to renew their legitimacy. They too, their legitimacy ought to be renewed. And we should not pretend that merely because you have practiced this kind of system for over 30 years, it has become so cast in stone that people cannot ask for change of it. We should take steps, pragmatic steps, relevant steps, to reverse the perception of the people about these important institutions of state.
Yeah.
And what they are doing, this quibbling. Yeah, power. I also have power. I can do what I want to do. I can show you power. I can deliver. You are engaging in misinformation and all of the other things that you say. It's not engendering the kind of trust, the kind of support. Today, if people go around every single station and keep on saying that, well, there are people who did the judgment, there was an MPP judge and other people who were doing it. Some are more nuanced. They will say, well, but the judgment itself ought to be reviewed. Others are not that nuanced, but it still counts as part of the perception and the trust issues you will face. So on one hand, I hear the Chief Justice say sometimes on platforms, she's interested in people improving the quality of judgment and the justice system. On the other hand, some of these things chip away a bit of the quest to do that. What is your ultimate goal and aim?
So again, let's ask the question. We pretty much have seen this, the flyer we put out. The speaker definitely monitored what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Even
and knowing Bagman Even if he agrees, even if he decides to do what they want or decide to comply, which we all expect him to do, he will have his own say.
I was going to ask the question.
Yeah.
What do you think Bagbe is thinking
about
right now?
why? No. See, he's thinking, and he's already saying this. I think Bagbe was moving to the middle by his meeting. Yes, with this meeting and all the other. You see, the last time too, Bagbe showed a bit of I am going to take a step back so that we can all move to the middle. But the more we push him, the more we give some of these animated judgments with all of the gymnastics and all of that.
You give the hawks around him a legitimate basis to make a case to him why he should go out there and be defiant. And you see, and you make the point, it's true. Let's go back to it. He is the third most powerful person in this country. Third.
Ranking.
In ranking. Third most powerful person. In fact, he has a possibility he may be president. The two somehow.
Yeah. And it happens. Sometimes they're outside the country, yes, and he is acting.
The two guys sworn in. If he sits in the chair, remember that as far as the constitution is concerned, anything the speaker does in the chair, and a member of parliament, is protected by privilege. You cannot impeach anything he does whilst he's in the chair in any place out of court. The constitution is clear. If he comes and takes that seat and says what he says, can say anything to the Chief Justice, can whatever, of course he won't insult him.
In fact, if he rises to contempt, can he even go and charge him
for what?
Imagine the kind of privilege that he has in that particular role.
He can't do it. He was acting in his proper role as a Speaker of Parliament, and you cannot impeach anything he does. And he can say a lot if he sits. That will fuel the perception that these two great institutions
are
loggerheads and clashing. And so a few things. First of all, I expect him a few things. I
won't let go. Bagbe. I mean, the best he can do is to do
his appreciation of the Constitution has been called into question. His intelligence.
In fact,
the fact that even administrative directives. The Chief Justice says on Tiasia.
On Tiasia, Papa.
On Tiasia, Papa. It is unfortunate that on Tiasia, very simple, and that she had to now clarify. So Bagbe hears that his intelligence has been called into question. His very reputation is on the line. He will feel entitled to defend that reputation that he has built over so many decades, right? So you can, and of course, now we are seeing that the Council of State have engaged him. I wonder, have they engaged the Chief Justice and her lot? I don't know, but they should, and they must, because you're right that there's a time when you go to the court. You see, it's also about the approach, the way the whole thing was delivered. Look. Let's go back.
And you see, we would have known. This one was live on TV. Let's not get it wrong. We all saw body language. We all saw the tone. We saw the language. Everything was on live display. And you can watch again.
And I want to go back to something. Bagbe actually set the tone, and I was hoping that the Chief Justice would have taken the cue and reciprocated. Remember when we were all waiting, covering that Parliament? And this country was sitting on tentacles.
The man swerved everybody.
We were always. When he came, his demeanor had changed. The tone of voice was conciliatory. His entire aura was subdued. He delivered his ruling, calm manner, poured cold water on the fire, and left.
And many applauded that.
This Chief Justice could have delivered her ruling and still done it in a way, in a tone of voice, in body language, in gestures. Because you see, the non-verbal communication was overwhelmingly antagonistic.
That's true.
And sometimes that matters more than what you're saying.
That's true.
The way you say, and the way he was,
the posturing.
It was so antagonistic, especially when the man whose position was in question had taken an approach that was conciliatory. Because you know Bagbe's position on this matter.
Oh, yes, yes.
And I was telling you that day, I was expecting, based on his track record, he was massive.
Yeah, that he was going to deliver, going to fire on all cylinders and all of that.
But he wasn't.
And I get your point. I'm just hoping that when Speaker recalls Parliament, he would continue on this path. I'm just hoping that he will not be sidetracked. I'm just hoping that he will not change tone, demeanor, and posturing. Because we should understand that we are not there yet with our democracy. And sometimes we pretend that we are there, but we are not there yet. If Bagbin also wants to act the same manner, we will have almost a situation that's out of hand on our hands. And I don't think that he should do so. I think he should continue on this path. I actually think that this thing can blow over, depending on how Bagbin continues to handle this matter. And again, I mean, I can't tell the Chief Justice what to do, but I agree with you. That judgment could have still been delivered the same way.
Well, of course.
Without any of the... I mean, see, it was almost as if you were personally vested into the matter.
Yeah.
It was almost as if it was I mean, I would have been preferred that the Chief Justice herself did not sit on this panel.
Yeah. That's right.
And I suspect that somebody else delivering this may not have actually used the same body language and everything.
Completely different.
Yeah, so that's why I suspect that if any other person actually handled it, perhaps it would have been different. And we should be careful as a people. Though. I keep sounding this caution that these are relevant institutions of state.
Yeah.
This is not the usual police in one area versus immigration usual tussle. No, these are the heads of important institutions of state. That kind of grandstanding is not very progressive, and mostly it's not about substantive matters too. You hope you get my point.
And so I return to your starting position about wisdom. There's some wisdom in that. But what's the point of wisdom if it doesn't benefit the wise?
Well,
the word to a wise.
It's enough. Well,
enjoy the rest of your evening.